Hello, I'm James Wells, Education Manager at Crayola. We're excited to share this Art of Learning series with everyone who educates children. Art helps us learn about all sorts of topics. Today, in celebration of National Soccer Day, which occurs on July 28th, we will be discussing soccer, also known as football in many parts of the world. So gather some art supplies and get ready for a hands-on learning session. I'm thrilled to kick things off with today's authors, Bellos and Ben Lyttleton, and illustrator Spike Gerrell. Alex, you are a best-selling author with over 1 million books sold, spanning topics such as science, math, and soccer. Could you please tell us how your love for writing started?
So I have always loved writing because I've always loved reading. And the reason why I love reading is that I'm nosy. I'm curious. I always want to know stuff. First, I was a journalist and then a writer. Is the best way to have a job where all you're doing is learning stuff. You're finding stuff out, going where your nose takes you. That's why I love reading and I love writing. And I also love sharing. I want to find stuff out. And if it's amazing, I want to tell people about it.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Alex. Reading certainly opens the window to the world of possibilities. Ben, you are an author and sports journalist with a deep passion for soccer. As a journalist, you often cover the highlights of athletes through writing. Could you share how your love of the game has influenced your career?
When I was younger, I loved soccer. I was really passionate about it. So when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I would watch matches and write little 2-line reports on it. And so I knew from an early age what I wanted to do. I'd loved reading at that age, but also really loved writing. And the good thing about soccer is that if you love the sport, there are loads of jobs you can go into to be part of the sport without actually playing. In fact, there are over 200 jobs that in a soccer club that involve working in the sport without actually playing it. So think about it. Spike is an illustrator. Alex and I are writers, but there's also the coach, the doctor, the physiotherapist, the chef, the accountant, the lawyer, the marketing team, the social media team, the photographer. All these jobs are in soccer. And I'm lucky because I've turned my passion for the sport into my career.
Wow, Ben, thank you so much for those insights. Opening kids' possibilities to the many careers around the sport is certainly something that is helpful and eye-opening. And I'm sure a lot of viewers watching today will consider those multiple paths when activating their passion around sports or any other career. Spike, as an illustrator, you bring stories to life through visuals. Your art appeals to both children and adults alike. Where do you draw your inspiration from when making art?
Inspiration comes from everywhere. It's everywhere. There's almost nothing that can't be used as a source of inspiration. I think from the world around us, our family, our parents, our friends, what we do every day, the games we play, the things we see on TV, all that stuff. I mean, actually, funny enough, when I used to be asked the question, where do your ideas come from? Where did your inspiration come from? I used to say I had this cardboard tube on my head, and if I pressed a button on the cardboard tube, a sort of vacuum effect would happen, and ideas would be sucked into my head from the world around us, and brain would be full of ideas. And actually, although that's reasonably silly, I mean, not totally in the real world, it's quite true, really, because you draw ideas from everywhere. And actually, I mean, to go along with that, what I do, I carry a sketchbook with me, and I used to carry a camera, now I carry a camera phone. And if I see anything interesting or something which I think I might be able to use, I'll either make a little note or draw a little picture or take a little snap on my phone. And then I can take that home and put it in a book of ideas, a scrapbook, a sketchbook, or again, you can just have a little folder on your phone and keep all those ideas within that. And if you need them later on, you've got somewhere to go to, which can spark off little things. So ideas are everywhere, and record stuff because it makes it much easier.
Ideas certainly are everywhere, and using tools such as a camera and carrying around a sketchbook can certainly help to document the world around us. Artists are great researchers and great individuals that document information about our world. So thank you for those insights. Appreciate that, Spike. Alex and Ben, you co-authored a book series titled Soccer School. This series takes a unique approach to connecting the sport of soccer to other education subjects while infusing humor to keep kids engaged. Could you talk to us about what inspired you to write this book and the key concepts you hope readers take away from it?
I believe that there is nothing that you can't explain in the world through football. In other words, football can explain everything. And what we like to do in soccer school is to show just the way that the world is so interconnected, that soccer links to everything else. I think that often at school, you get siloed, you get ring-fenced, thinking that there's this subject here, that subject there, and they don't really meet. But actually, everything is connected in the world. Soccer is a brilliant way to link everything together. We learn that we're all in it together, that we can find out stuff just by following our curiosity rather than being told you've got to do this subject or that.
And we wanted to write a book that we would have loved to have read when we were younger. We both love soccer, we both love reading. So we thought it'd be good to combine all of that. And that's exactly what the Soccer School series does. We use soccer to open up the school curriculum and to show, as Alex said, that everything is connected in a really fun way.
Wow, I love this. And certainly everything in education is connected. Thank you for sharing your inspiration in writing Soccer School. There are many parts of the book that I too found fascinating. And I love the way different subjects are woven into the story, all connected to soccer. So with that, could you each read a section of the book?
The section that I'm going to read is from our chapter on zoology. Now you might think, what on earth has zoology got to do with soccer? We're not talking about crocodiles playing soccer. Anyway, here we go, and you'll find out. Speaking of birds, which we were on the previous page, did you know that the most common animal mascot for soccer teams is the eagle? The eagle, in fact, has been a symbol of strength, superiority, and courage since ancient times because of its awesome fighting skills and beautiful appearance. Eagles are birds of prey, which means they kill and eat other animals. Usually they go for small mammals like rabbits and mice, but they can even kill wolves and foxes. Eagles are speedy birds. They can fly at up to 55 miles an hour and can dive at 100 miles an hour. Their eyesight is incredible too. We have eyes on the front of our face and so can only see forward. But eagles have eyes on the sides of their head, so they can see forward, to the sides, and almost behind themselves. On top of this, their eyesight is around 4 times better than ours. They can spot a rabbit a mile away. That's why when someone is very observant, we call them eagle-eyed. One expert told us that the eagle's beaked face makes it look majestic. No wonder that throughout history, the eagle has been called the king of the skies. Now, in ancient Rome, the eagle represented power, freedom, wisdom, and nobility. Every unit of soldiers in an ancient Roman army had an eagle standard or flag, which was the military equivalent of a mascot. Losing the eagle standard would represent defeat for the army. And that's why the Italian team, Lazio, which is based in Rome, obviously the center formerly of the Roman Empire, has an eagle on its logo, and flies a live eagle called Olympia around the stadium before games. The eagle is very important for us. It's our history, explained Lazio owner Claudio Lotito. Olympia, that's the eagle, lives at the team training ground and receives regular visits from Lazio's fans and players. Ancient Rome's use of the eagle as a symbol of freedom spread around the world. In 1782, the United States adopted the bald eagle, which can only be found in North America as its national bird. In 1904, the Portuguese team Sport Lisboa, which later became Benfica, was one of the first teams to use the eagle as a sports emblem. Other teams followed suit. In 1973, English team Crystal Palace's manager, Malcolm Allison, changed the team's nickname from the Glaziers to the Eagles because Benfica was one of Europe's best teams at the time and he admired them. Now, lots of teams are known as the Eagles.
I'm going to read a section from our drama chapter. Now, everyone loves drama lessons, and there is a lot of drama in soccer. I'll begin. In some ways, soccer players are like famous actors. People pay to see them perform live. You can watch them on primetime TV. They feature in adverts and celebrity magazines. And on the field, they also do a lot of acting. In this lesson, we're going to look at the different ways soccer players act. There's both good and bad acting. Everyone loves the player or team who celebrates their goal with a jubilant piece of theatre. On the other hand, fans and commentators criticize players who scream in pretend agony when they're not really hurt. When we watch soccer on TV or even in a stadium, we can't hear what the players are saying. But we know what they are thinking because their bodies give it away. This is called body language. It's a way of communicating without words, and it's a really important tool of an actor's trade. The defender who puts the palm of their hands together and waves them in the direction of the referee, like that. He wants justice. The striker who storms over and puts his nose right next to his opponent's nose in an aggressive stance like this. He's angry. Sometimes our bodies respond in a natural way. We smile when we're happy. We grimace or cry when we're hurt. But in a competitive environment, like a soccer game, some players exaggerate their reactions to events. They're doing just what clowns in the circus might do, overemphasizing their facial expressions and body gestures in order to communicate without words. This is a type of acting called mime. Players use the techniques of mime so other players, the referee and the fans, can understand their feelings on the field without them having to speak. Now, soccer players may behave like actors, but watching a soccer game is different from watching a play or a film. When you're in the theatre, the cinema, or just watching TV at home, usually you want silence so you can hear what is going on. Soccer is the opposite. You want to be noisy because it means you're part of the action. If you're watching a game at a stadium and singing loudly enough, the players can even hear you, which could inspire them to play well, and it could also distract their opponents. Sometimes fans boo players if they used to play for their team in the past. Boo! Or if they foul someone, boo! Or if they just have a bad haircut, boo! These noises from the crowd, cheers for the heroes, boos for the villains, are a way of commenting on the main characters in the action. This used to happen in the first plays ever, which were performed in ancient Greece nearly 3,000 years ago. During a play, a group of actors called the chorus would stand near the stage and provide a commentary on the action. They might sing a song to describe what a character is thinking or move the plot along by adding information. So think about it the next time you go to a game. Your words could also become the story, and that makes you an important part of the game.
Wow, thank you so much, Alex and Ben. Learning about sports is so much fun, as we can see, especially when you can connect it with other subjects like science and the arts. So Alex, soccer has an interesting way of integrating math into learning, an area you are very passionate about. Can you share your soccer and math story, as well as other examples of professional soccer teams who help children discover math in soccer?
One of the other things that I do apart from write soccer school is that I write books on math, and I go to schools to help kind of encourage people to get excited by math. You can't really be a soccer fan without at least understanding arithmetic. And I grew up in Scotland, where I was supporting within Scotland. And so you always say that as soon as there was a competition had started, you had to do the sums because you had to work out how many games you had to win to make sure that you weren't going to get knocked out, or to make sure you weren't going to get relegated. So just understanding how points and scoring works, you need to have a familiarity with numbers. And now, we live in a world where it's full of data. We can, at our fingertips, get so much data about almost anything there is to do about football. Expected goals, goals scored, everything in terms of training, in terms of discussing the game involves numbers. So I think that using the numbers in football to talk about football is a way of demystifying numbers. And lots of people are a bit afraid of math. They're a bit scared of numbers. But when you use it in a football context, people understand it and they're motivated to want to know what's going on because it's something they care very passionately about. And it's true when you talk about how the football establishment in a way is trying to help children learn. The Premier League, which is the group of the main teams here that run the top league, they actually invest in education programs to teach elementary school children arithmetic, reading, and also physical health. So yeah, I think maths is a fantastic thing. We can both get better at numbers through football, and football can help us love numbers more.
Thank you, Alex, for sharing that. Certainly sharing that, math and soccer is a nice creative combination to keep kids engaged around both subjects, topics of sports and math. So Ben, in the book, you mentioned your philosophy of life is be yourself, love your family, tell jokes, eat pizza, and take penalties. You also mentioned in the book that you are an expert on penalty kicks. Can you explain what penalty kicks are and your penalty kick tips that build mental capacity in both soccer and in everyday life?
I'm so glad you asked me this question, James, because I could talk about penalties for hours. In fact, Alex would warn you, I could talk about penalties for hours. So it's my favorite subject. A penalty kick is a free shot on goal from 12 yards away or 11 meters away, and it's awarded after a foul from the defending side that's close to the goal. And it involves just one kicker, one goalkeeper, one ball, and the goal. So for me, the penalty kick is soccer in its most pure state, in its purest essence. And if you're a professional player, you would expect to score every time. But the exciting thing about penalty kicks is they don't always score. In fact, a penalty kick is scored just under 80% of the time, which is around 4 out of 5, as Alex, our mathematician, would be able to tell us. So why do players miss? Because they're nervous, they're scared, or the goalkeeper is amazing. But those are the questions that really inspire me around penalty kicks, because they can be very decisive in matches. And I can give you some penalty tips, which might also be able to help you in other moments of stress or when you might feel under pressure. And my first tip, number 1, is to be positive. And this is as simple as it sounds. If you think, I'm going to miss this penalty, then you're more likely to miss the penalty. It's the same as going into a test, thinking, I'm going to fail this test. If you're positive and you focus on what you need to do, like getting the correct run up or doing the revision before the test, then you're more likely to succeed. Number 2 is take your time. When you rush, you are much more likely to make a mistake. Players who take a quick penalty are more likely to miss, just as if I run down the stairs instead of walk, I'm more likely to trip up. So just slow down. Number 3 is be supportive. And this means helping others, to celebrate with them when they score and to console them and be there for them when they miss. It's the same as being a good friend. Don't just stick around when they're happy and everything is jolly, but also be there around when they're sad and it's a bit more difficult. Number 4 is to face up to the challenge. So when we avoid things, it can make it harder to face in the future. And it's the same for penalties. So players who put the ball on the spot and then turn their backs to do their run up and turn their back to the goal, they actually are more likely to miss penalties than players who put the ball on the spot and then walk backwards, always facing the goal. So it helps to face a challenge head on. And number 5 is be prepared. And this is true of anything, not just penalties. It's all about practice. Before a penalty, also a test, a concert, a play or a speech, whatever it might be, we're all going to do better if we've practiced. That's how we improve. So those are my tips, James, and it's proof for me that penalties are a great guide for life.
Gosh, I cannot imagine being a soccer player with all of the pressure and hundreds of thousands of fans in attendance and millions across the world watching you. We really appreciate you giving us 5 great tips to face that challenge with confidence, also with a calmness. So thank you so much, Ben, for those insights. Okay, Spike, Ben just outlined some tips for the perfect penalty kick. Could you demonstrate how to draw a penalty kick?
Hi, this is a drawing of a dramatic penalty moment. We've already drawn the keeper, so we'll draw in the penalty taker. There we go, got the eyes in. Always start with the eyes, it's always a good place to start. Get that head in. I think, oh look, a penalty taker. Smiling, excellent. So I think, hopefully, our penalty taker is quite confident about this penalty, I think. Bit of a smile, but we've not shown the direction of the eyes because we've not drawn the ball in yet. So we'll know where to point those eyes once the ball is drawn in. And position of a penalty taker as well. If you can do this in a mirror, but if you look at yourself in the mirror once you've taken a penalty, you're leaning slightly back and your arms are out, almost like wings, to balance yourself, and you're leaning back a bit. So that our penalty taker is leaning back a little bit, arms out, and there we go. Put those shorts in to determine where those legs are going to go. So they're going to have one standing leg and one leg which is just for the penalty. Knees help because they show you where the bottom bit of the leg goes. Top of the socks helps because it shows you where the lower leg is going to go. The calves help you show you where the foot's going to go. And to draw a boot, get those laces in first, and then once you've got the top of the foot with the laces in, toe, bottom of the boot, heel, boom, suddenly you've got a foot. Feet can be quite difficult. But if you do that, if you follow that, if you put the top of those boots in first, laces, it shows you where the rest of the boot goes. So this is our standing foot. The laces go in there, and instead of putting the toe in front of the laces, there we go. Look, we put it in 90 degrees, and suddenly he's standing. And then the studs go in, but there's no studs on the bottom because our penalty taker is standing on the ground there. Forgotten putting the hair, haven't we? Let's put in hair, nice quiff, back bit, and I think we'll have a lovely ponytail in there. Lots of wild hair coming out the back, I think. That'll be good. Yeah, that's good. Nice action shot of that hair. Right, and the ball as well. Now we put the ball in. If you put the ball in up here, oh, which is just out of reach of the keeper, put the spots on, little hexagons and pentagons on the ball, help to turn it into a football. Right, trajectory can be quite nice because we can go down like this, and a big curly trajectory like a Ronaldo curl on this ball. And what it does is, it's not really a realistic curl because even Ronaldo can probably not put that much curl on a ball. It takes us through our design, helps with the layout as well. So you use your layout to decide where that's going to go. Little action marks on the kick to show that he's kicked it. There, we've just done. This is the horizon line for the goal. The goal posts, we can do a bit of the goal. It's a really nice clicky pen. That's lovely. I like that. There we go. Put the goal post in. We only need to put one bit of the goal post in, and now we can more clicky pens. Now we can do the net. Nets are usually orange, so we put the orange net in. Here we go. And when we're doing the netting, we go right to the edge of that because that shows us an edge. There we go. And then for the inner bit of the net, we can be a bit more casual. There we go. And a bit more casual in here. And then we go do the horizontal bits of the net as well. Horizontal bits. And suddenly we've got a net behind us. Bump, bump, bump. I think that's a net, isn't it? There we go. Bit of net. Now we can do those eyes, can't we? Keeper's looking at the ball, but we'll never ever save it. Oh no, I've not saved it. And the player, the penalty, she's quite pleased. That's quite good. Right, just put a little bit of colour in. These lovely brush pens. for a Brazil shirt, I think. Oh, it's always a Brazil shirt. The Brazil shirt's a classic. There we go. You can put whatever team shirt you want on this. I've used Brazil because Brazil is Brazil. But you can put your own team. There's a green cuffs. You can put your own team's short and shirt in. That'd be really good. Blue short. Ooh, use those nice brush pens for the filling in. That's really nice. You can cover a nice wide area. There we go. For a smaller kit, we'll just put green in for the keeper. Keepers like wearing green. There we go. But again, you can use whatever colour. The colours, just whatever colours you want. Really good. I like green for keepers. And what we have got some lovely skin tone. These are colours of the world. These are great. I've been looking for these for ages. That's such a good thing for skin tones. Colours of the world pens. They're great. And so make the line stand out. If you use the colours which are slightly lighter, have a lighter feel, you have your colour, but your line still stands out. So that's quite a nice thing. Rather than using really heavy colour, your line stands out against the colour you've used. There you go. Put some hair in. Keeper's hair. There we go. Some nice keeper hair going in there. That's with the lovely little marker pens. And the same smaller markers. Oh look, this one's pink. Excellent. I picked up the right pen. Nice pink hair. And for those bits of hair there, you can go. You can do these a bit more carefully. Oh, see, look, I've gone over the lines there, but it doesn't matter. Seal headband, and for a final flourish, I love these gold pens. They are just so good. So gold boots, I think, for our penalty taker who has scored. Gold boots, silver boots for our keeper, which is really nice. I love these metallic pens. They are good. And bronze spots on the ball. And I think possibly that could be it. That's a penalty being scored.
Wow, Spike, I love the expression on the face of this player. I'm sure they're going to make this penalty kick. The book also talks about how soccer players often communicate without words, as Ben has stated. One way is through facial expressions. Can you demonstrate how to capture a facial expression, perhaps during an emotional moment in a game?
Our facial expressions tell us so much about what's going on in the picture. In our penalty, we can look at the keeper, and the keeper is despairing. He's never, ever going to save that penalty, not in a million years. And our penalty taker is steely determined. He's certain he's going to score. And for soccer, all the emotions are there. They're everywhere. Should I see how many expressions I can draw? Start with the eyes. Always start with the eyes. That is always a good place to start. So here we go. One eye, two eyes, dot in the middle. Could be anything, but we'll give it some nice eyebrows like that, and the nose. And if we do a big loop like that, we have a happy face, just with that mouth and those eyebrows. Let's draw in the rest of the face quickly. Here we go. Hair and a happy face. We can also do happy with these eyes, which is quite nice. So we don't draw the eyes, we just draw those upside down moons. If you do that, if you practice that expression, you'll see that happens with your eyes. You'll see them squidge up. Here we go. We'll do a grin. There we go. That's a lovely grin. Little flecks of eyebrows, and that looks really happy. There we go. Same head, hair. There we go. Happy. Happy, like the song. There you go. Happy. Let's try a different expression, shall we? Different colour for a different expression. Start with those eyes again. Here we go. We'll start with those same eyes. Looking straight ahead. Bop, bop, two dots. And we'll do a little bit of underneath there. And then we do this with the eyes. And they're starting to look quite sad, I think, aren't they? Let's draw the head in. Just those little extra bits above the eyes. And we turn that face into a sad face and turn turn the smile upside down, of course, as you do. Right, and if we just use the shoulders a bit, he's hanging his head down as well. Other things you can do for sad as well, a little tear in, like that, that'll be okay. You can do that double bit on the mouth as well. There we go, that's really sad. Little cheeks as well, sad. So there's little extra bits you can do, depending on what sort of sad. Let's have another go. Red pen now. Red anger, I think. Let's draw the eyes first and see what we can make with anger. Here go those eyes. In they go. And the eyes, same as happy and sad, but what we'll do those little V above the eyes. A little bit there as well. And draw that nose in. Looking a bit grumpy. Show those teeth. That's really quite angry. There we go. A bit on there. Let's draw the rest of the head in. Same hair. Same person's quite grumpy. And actually for grumpy as well, for anger, oh look, we can put those little cartoon marks in, which shows he's really cooking there, little cooking marks. And maybe we can also, which helps, little fist there, another little fist there, cuffs, and because he's angry, maybe he's leaning forward, so we put those shoulders really high up the head, so he's leaning forward like that, quite angry. There we go. He's quite angry, isn't he? Anger. I'll draw that there. You write anger in with an arrow so we know which one it is. There you go. He looks really angry. Righto, let's see what else we got. A different colour again. What should we do? We'll try pain. And again, because he's related to football, pain could be after having been fouled really badly. So with pain, if you do the expression yourself, you can feel how it feels, and even you can look in the mirror and see what it looks like as well. So you can use yourself as a model. For pain, you squeeze your eyes up because it's really hurting like that. So we don't actually show the dots and the eyes like that. We squeeze our eyes up like that. Here we go with nose, and the mouth goes back a bit. Oh, ouch! And eyebrows go up like that. Yeah, that's really hurting, isn't it? Righto, here's the E. E? Ear. There's the ear. Same hair. And he, sometimes as well, oh, pain. Little lightning bolts of pain there. Ow. There we go. Ow. And actually, if you say the sound effects when you're drawing it, it actually helps. It really does. Try it. Say the sound effects when you're drawing, and it helps you draw the emotion. It really works. Right, let's draw some hands in to see if we can help that feeling. Here we go. And he's gone, oh. We'll go across anger there. Oh, look at that. Oh, ouch, he's saying. Pain. I think we've got time to do another one, which will fill the page quite nicely. We'll try a different colour for this. Don't know whether orange shows fear, but for fear, the eyes go bigger. Again, if you mime fear yourself, or even look at yourself doing it in the mirror, you'll see your eyes go really big because you're scared, and the dots go really small in the middle like that. Maybe a little bit under there, and to show they're getting bigger, you put those things, there we go, it's fear, and your eyebrows go right up like that there. We could leave it like that because that just looks like fear anyway. We'll draw the rest of the face in. Here we go, just like the other ones. There we go. There's the nose and his mouth, like an upside down bow. We'll put his teeth in, put the rest of the head in. Here's that little flick of hair, which our bloke always has. Here we go round. And actually what helps us with fear as well, the rest of the face, if you look at yourself in the mirror doing this, your shoulders go up really high. So right to your ears, your shoulders go right to your ears like that. And maybe your hands shake. There we go. Hands shaking. There we go. And maybe you shake as well. Whoa, I'm really scared. There we go, bit of fear. We'll put those little bits on the cheek as well, which helps. Fear.
Thank you, Spike, for leading us through these incredible art demos. While viewers are finishing their creations, I have a special message for parents and teachers. Keep learning fun and colorful by signing up to receive the Crayola Education free monthly e-newsletters. Just check the education box to get updates about all of our programs, including the Art of Learning, delivered right to your inbox. After this session, kids will have plenty of time to finish their drawings. Parents and teachers, please share photos of them in the comment sections of this video. We look forward to seeing what they create. All right, Alex, you have shared some great educational connections we can make through soccer. What additional advice do you have for children who seek to learn math or any other subjects?
I guess I would say the most important thing is just curiosity. It's just a drive to always be wanting to find stuff out. And also, I'd say a sense of humor. Have fun. It's important to always enjoy what you do.
Thank you, Alex. Ben, as a sports journalist, you followed some of the best players in the world. Many of our viewers have been watching the women's U.S. national team this summer, cheering them on. What additional advice do you have for soccer fans that could apply to both the soccer field and the field of life?
I love this question, James. My advice would be to keep being creative. You can do that on the soccer pitch with tricks and flicks and shots and blocks, but you could do it at home or in the classroom by following Spike's amazing instructions to draw, or to write about a topic you're passionate about, or make a new meal for your family, as long as you're being creative.
Thank you so much, Ben. And Spike, as an illustrator, you get to draw pictures for a living. Many kids dream, but you also shared that you will always be a central midfielder at heart. What advice do you have for young artists to encourage them to follow their interests and passions and go for the goal, whatever that may be?
Drawing pictures is a job. It's a pretty good job, actually. I'm very, very lucky indeed. Playing in field has been great fun too, as well, of course. Advice-wise, I think possibly if you love something, keep doing it, keep practicing, keep drawing, keep playing football, whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't have to be football. It doesn't have to be drawing. Whatever you love, keep doing it, keep practicing. And actually, and this is very important, have fun. The fun is the good thing. And if you can do that, you're halfway there. Practice and fun.
We want to thank Alex, Ben, and Spike for joining us today. We also want to thank our friends at Candlewick Press for publishing this great series. And we want to thank all of you for joining us today. Keep chasing those goals.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.